When I was solo traveling this summer, I followed a lot of people on their respective adventures. These are the stories of some lovely humans I met at Anker hostel on my first day in Oslo.
My bike got shipped to Stockholm instead of Oslo. When I flew in, it wasn't there. So it kind of took a little mini vacation to Stockholm, and then I got it the next day at the hostel.
My name is Katie Cramon, and I'm from kind of a bunch of places. I would say Colorado and California most of all.
My name is Jesse Cool. I am from Western Massachusetts, Amherst. I've always wanted to come to Scandinavia. I've been an avid bike tourer and bicyclist for a long time, and I was excited about the culture here, the outdoors, and just seeing sights I haven't seen before.
And what brought me to Norway, I knew that I wanted to do a big bike trip after graduation, first of all as kind of a reward and also as a way to process the last 4 or 5 years. And I think bike trips are the best way to do that. You just have a lot of time to think through everything that's kind of clogged up in your mind. The plan is not very detailed in my mind. It's Norway for 2 weeks, Sweden for 2 weeks, and Ireland for 2 weeks.
So each day we'll cover about 70 miles. That should be our average approximately. Some days will probably be 50, and some days we're hoping for over 100.
So we'll be doing a lot of camping, and I've heard in some spots you can knock on people's doors and they'll take you in for the night or let you camp in their yard, so that would be pretty neat if we get to do that sometime. Food-wise, the most defining feature is probably a lot of it. I plan to eat a lot of chocolate, and beyond that, we'll see what I find.
So we biked from Kongsberg and made our way north mostly, and biked about 55 miles, so a pretty light day, but a good shakeout day and figuring everything out.
And then we got to go canoeing because we were in camp so early. I had just been talking about how I wanted to find a canoe or kayak on this trip, and sure enough, the nice man at this campground hooked us up. I've done a lot of international travel and I've done a lot of bike touring, but I've never rolled the two into one. And I think you have the most authentic travel experience when you're on a bike. So I'm pretty excited to fall in love with some other countries the way I fell in love with America because of riding my bike.
Hi, my name is Brendan Lacey. I'm from Brisbane, Australia, and I came to Norway just to see a friend, and the countryside seems pretty cool, so I thought I'd see that while I was here.
After following Katie and Jesse, I came back to Oslo and continued traveling with Brendan. Brendan was actually bunkmates with Jesse back when we were staying at Anker hostel. We set off to Oda together to do the famous Trolltunga hike, otherwise known as Troll's Tongue.
And it was pretty long, pretty hard. It was 11 k's all up, and very steep in some parts, but once you got to the top, it was a cruise. Anna has this theory. She says it was the Icelanders' mythology, but I reckon she just made it up, that stacks of rocks are trolls that got caught out in the sun and turned to stone. And so while we were on the way, we saw heaps, and on the way back down we had a bit more time, and so I made a couple just because I could. So the whole point of the Trolltunga hike is to get to the Troll's Tongue. So right at the top of the fjord, on the side of the mountain, there's this rock that just sticks out, and I guess if you tilt your head one way and squint your eye, you can imagine it was the tongue of a big giant troll that was the size of the fjord. And so you can walk out there and face your fears and be brave and jump up and down a couple of 100 meters above the ground on this big piece of rock.
That evening we got on a bus to Bergen. We were exhausted after the hike and passed out the second we sat down. We woke up hours later and were confused why things were moving outside the window. But we realized that we were actually on a boat. It was such a surreal experience.
Soon I'll be heading to Geiranger and I'll be doing some of the hikes around that fjord. Like what I really want to do is end up at the mountain farms, because Geiranger's got these farms that have been like terraced way up the sides of the fjords. I just think it's crazy that someone even tried to farm on the side of a mountain.
We arrived at Bergen late in the night, and so did Katie and Jesse. We had split off and followed different paths, but somehow all ended up in Bergen a week later.